Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of A Tall Woman's Perspective podcast. So I have Miss Anita here, who is also a life coach and a counselor. I'm really excited about this because I need some pointers, Miss Anita.
Okay.
So
I'll do my best.
Okay, all right. How you feeling today?
A little nervous. This is my first time going live on Instagram. Actually going live on any of my platforms except Facebook. So I should be used to it because I'm used to going live on Facebook. I just haven't done it in a while.
Okay, all righty. Well, I'm sure you'll get used to it. It'll come back to you, that feeling, right? All right.
Yeah.
We can start off with you letting us know exactly what it is that you do.
Okay, so right now I am a holistic healer, life coach, and counselor. I'm sorry. I put my glasses on so that way I could see some of the small prints in the chat room in case I need to read some of that. But a holistic healer basically is someone who's concerned with the wholes rather than analysis or separation into parts. So just to clear that up. Also keep in mind that everything I speak on will come from a holistic and or metaphysics point of view, and I will let it be known that it'll be from my experience and my opinions in it as well. Okay?
That's good. Thank you for that disclaimer. Just to let everyone know that's joining, it's from your views.
Correct. And as far as being a licensed life and health insurance, just to be clear on that, I'm no longer in that field, but I still can give my perspective on that, being that has been my past experience.
Okay, that's good. So you're still willing to give some input on that. And I think that's a good pointer because all of that can kind of tie in together. So even though you're
Correct.
not really catering towards that, everything still kind of mesh well. So that's good.
Okay.
It seems like you're very, very familiar with everything that you're talking about. So that's another thing. With getting new clients and new customers, everyone wants to feel comfortable with that.
Correct. I agree.
Yes. So in your bio, I also seen that you are also a financial counselor.
Yes, that's exactly what I did when I was working in the life and health insurance field. So that came along with it. I had to have that background in order to be able to educate a lot of my clients.
Okay. Do you, I know you said you don't really do that portion of it anymore, but are you willing to share a little more insight just in case someone wants some pointers here?
Yes.
I'm going to be taking my pointers for myself as well.
Okay. And if you don't mind, because my screen is not scrolling, so I thought I would be able to read some of the people's input. I don't see it,
no,
so you may have
I'll most
to.
certainly do that. I'll definitely make sure.
Okay. Okay, great.
Yes,
Thank you.
no problem. I'm going to check here. All right, so we don't have none yet, but people will be joining once they see my page is live and your page is live as well. If we are in the middle of talking about a specific question, I'll just hold off on that question that the viewers may have until we finish, just to kind of keep the episode rolling smoothly.
Okay, no problem.
So this is the video and audio too, but my episodes are also audio, so I gotta keep that in mind, right, for the audio listeners that don't like to watch videos.
Okay.
Alrighty. So you can lead with I know you mentioned life insurance, the financial counselor part. Was it the life insurance?
Life and health. I was licensed to do life insurance as well as health insurance. And within my tenure of doing the both life and health insurance, I got educated a lot on
Okay.
economics. I learned a lot about that area because people need the understanding of when they're doing investments, they had to understand why it was very important to utilize certain investments. Some people go into banking and they try to start a savings and don't even understand that when you open up a bank account and
Mm-hmm.
a savings account only allow you to accrue 1%. So let's say you live 70 up to be 72
Mm-hmm.
years old. It's going to take 72 years to see a difference opposed to having a life insurance policy
Mm.
and different life insurance policies allow a certain percentage for you to accrue a savings into that investment. So you may notice certain companies will tell you, oh, you get up to just I know this might seem wild, 55%. And so with that 55%, let's say it'll take 3 years, 2 to 3 years before you see a result. I rather see my investment grow within 2 to 3 years
Mm-hmm.
and then to wait my whole life before I see anything
Right. With the savings account.
based on a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm. Yes, you dropping some gems for sure. For sure. Because when people think about, I feel like when they think about life insurance, they're not really thinking about the investments that come with it. So
Hmm.
you sharing this is definitely good. Something that I didn't know. I mean, I do have
Oh,
savings
sorry.
accounts and life insurance, but that portion of it I did not know. And I want my money to accrue fast. Yeah, I don't want to wait my
Exactly.
whole life for it to start.
Exactly.
Yes.
We all do. So that is just something just to take in consideration. And there are other investments that you can invest in. Of course, they have the Bitcoins. They have what are this? Gold, silver. Investing in those areas. So something that I learned as an agent, I've learned there's different ways to invest. You also have the Forex trading,
Mm.
so please take advantage of those because especially right now with the dollar bill coming to a halt, you may want to look into investing in metals. So right now, metals are hot. Banking is
Okay.
not.
That's something because I will say, I'm not sure if anyone else that's watching, but when I hear Forex, I think about scamming. Because social media platforms, it's a lot of scamming going on. In their bios, you'll
Hmm.
see a lot of Forex trading and just so I'm just thinking about that. So to get into Forex trading, how do you well who do not who? How do you recommend someone getting into it the right way without someone being like, okay, I found this Instagram page, they do Forex trading and then they get scammed? How would you recommend them getting
Well,
started with it?
well, I wouldn't even go. I wouldn't even contact the person. I guess. Let me and notice I said I
Okay.
guess because you have to really check people's credentials and really get to know the person before you get involved.
Mm.
So mainly, if they do have like a Facebook group where they do give classes and the type of tools that they use, I would first take time, just say, look, I wouldn't mind getting involved, but let me get to know you a little bit. Do you have a Facebook page
Mm-hmm.
where you have a
Mm-hmm.
group? And then just kind of check their credentials, the type of tools that they're using in order. And when I say, because, if you're a beginner, you don't
Mm-hmm.
even know what to ask and how to begin. But I
Exactly.
would not go through somebody's, I'll say I would not go through somebody's YouTube. And it's mainly just based on checking credentials because even when they tell you things,
Mm-hmm.
you can go right to Google. Google's people's best friends now,
Mm-hmm.
and you can check into it.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google the information and check into it. But even though it's, um, not having enough knowledge
Hmm.
to be able to, as a beginner, to not know what to look for, you can Google it. But even when Googling it, you know, depending on your experience with
Hmm.
using Google, sometimes you still mess up and get scammed. And you think, oh, Forex trading, everybody who does Forex trading, that's a
Hmm.
scam. But not everybody is out to scam you. It's basically just doing your research, checking the person's credentials, looking them up, understanding the type of tools that they're using, because everybody can sound smart, you know,
Hmm.
because all people got to do is memorize a presentation or information
Hmm.
and be able to give you that information off the top of their dome.
Right.
So again, it's doing your research. Always do your research. Try to gather questions, and until you feel comfortable, keep coming to them with
Right.
questions.
Right.
When you do your Google research and you're trying to understand forex trading, ask them certain things that what you've been researching until you feel comfortable. Like I said, don't be so in a hurry to do business with them. Just ask first. Let me. Do you have a group I
Hmm.
can join so that way I can just kind of on look and get a feel for everything.
Yeah.
And if they act funny and try to talk you
That
around it,
that's
right,
the scammer.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the scammer.
Got you. So you just gave us some good insight on how to wean out the scammers away from the actual people. I think like the basic questions, all of them will know. Like someone that really does the forex trading and the scammers, right? But once you dig more into it, you'll kind of wean out exactly who. So we do have a
And,
question,
and
Anita.
oh,
Yeah. Hey.
okay, go ahead.
All right. So you do you have any certain recommendations?
As far as for forex trading,
Yes.
oh, I have to say, can they just send me? They will have to message me if someone is asking this question. Just message me, and I can send you their recommendations. Because trying to remember their head, I'm already nervous. So trying to remember somebody's head off the top of the dome right now,
Okay.
it's the information is all jumbled with life lessons and financial freedom.
And get started with this Instagram live.
Yes.
Yes, but no worries. Just send it. So I'll make sure to actually link you guys. I do have her ad name pinned here, but I'll also send you her page as well, so she can get you those recommendations for sure. Got you, got you. Well, that was really good and great information for the forex trading because again, for me, a lot of social media stuff. It's just so much scams going on. So I just don't. I be like, no, I don't think I'm. Nope, don't trust it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
trust it. So this is really good with those recommendations as well. So and I'm going to double back to a lot of the things that we were talking about because those were some really really good
Okay.
topics. But just to kind of break the ice of being really nervous, and we're going to loosen up a little bit with our this or that game. I feel like that's a good
Thank
thing to
you.
do now. And you are doing great. I will say you do not seem like you are very, very nervous. Once you started to talk about something that you're actually passionate about doing, I didn't see any nervousness at all.
Okay. Well, that's a plus. Thank you. I needed that little word of encouragement because hey, it's a jungle out here on these internet streets.
Yes, I agree. It definitely is. And as I mentioned to you, I'm fairly new to this podcast world. So I'm still finding my
Yes.
way along the way as well.
Okay.
All right. So the first question with the this or that is music. Music categories. Would you rather listen to R&B or neo soul?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not. I'm not cutting myself off and just choosing one when I can choose both.
Yes.
I'm into holistic, meaning I want the whole.
Okay. Okay. Now, is there any specific artists?
Oh yes. So R&B, I love Sam Cooke. And as far as female in R&B, that would be Tina Turner and Anita Baker.
I love.
As far as neo soul,
Mhm. I
yes,
love Anita
neo
Baker.
soul. It would be okay. Neo soul would be Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill, and what's my boy, Music Soul Child.
Yes. Oh, he's a Philly native. I'm here. I'm from Philly. That's a Philly native.
Yes,
Yes. Great, great
I
music.
love everybody. So
Yes, yes. You know what? So if I had those is great artists, and I wanted to. Tina Turner is. You said Tina Turner or
yes, I
Tina Marie?
do. Yes,
Okay, I don't know
ma'am.
why I thought you just said Tina Marie. My mom. That's one of my mom's favorite artists, but Tina Turner too, and Sam Cooke. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So y'all also sharing with us too, y'all favorite artists. Okay, K Michelle. Yes, I love me some K Michelle too.
And I hope that's not showing my age because Sam Cooke was way before my time. It's just that my mom used to listen to a lot of oldies,
Mhm.
and you know how your parent listened to stuff during
Uh-huh.
their time, and you still like those artists.
Yes. So and listen
That's
to it.
basically what that is.
Yes. So similar to
Mm-hmm.
you, my parents were older, so I know a lot of the artists like Bloodstone, Tina Marie, like Sam Cooke, James Brown. What? It's a man's world. Those were artists that my dad were listening to. So like you as well, I'll throw it on. Just I'll think of my dad. Like I'll think so. Oldies were always played in my household.
Okay, and the Temptations. Let me throw that group in there. The Temptations, the Whispers.
Yes. Ooh, come on, you and me. The Whispers, the OJs, all
Yes.
of them. Yeah, so I'm thinking R&B or neo soul. So I would choose. Yeah, it's hard to choose. It's hard to choose because
That's
I
why I don't
listen to
limit
both.
myself.
I'm with you on it. But I am more of an R&B girl. But those neo soul artists, Lettucey, Jill Scott, I feel like Jasmine
Mm-hmm.
Sullivan, Music Soul Child for sure. It's another Philly group called Kendrick Family Soul.
Yes. Yes, I
Yes,
forgot
yes,
about them.
yes.
Yeah, they want they my top. I got to put them in my top 10.
For sure. Definitely so. I think one of the songs was, is it Stars? I think that I really, really love by them.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got a lot of nice
Girl,
tunes. Yes.
girl, you know what? I think we're kindred
Yes.
spirits because
Yes, for sure.
that's my favorite song.
Definitely. All right, so that was a good category. Our next one is banking. So would you rather a credit union or a regular bank?
Neither.
Mm, okay. We got to know
Mm.
why.
Because I understand the banking system, and let me just put on my financial educator's cap because what people don't realize is that all of your banks utilize a what they call a permanent policy, which is the same thing as a life insurance
Mm,
policy. They call it permanent policy, and as far as those licensed agents, that's how we speak. We might not say life insurance policies to each other. We say permanent
mm,
policy or a term policy. So banks build their business using those policies, and it's like an investment tool. If you understand policies and what they offer, you will understand how the bank utilize and build their businesses off of policies. So why would I want to consider a credit union or bank when I can go right to the source and say, if anything, I prefer life insurance, a permanent whole life insurance.
okay. That's really good because I honestly thought, um, you know, you hear people saying, "Oh, credit unions are better than regular banks." Um, I bank with both credit union, but more so on the credit union. Just because I've always been told like you get better rates with credit unions um, than the actual bank, and I had some bad experiences with banks, like those interest rates and overdraft
Hmm.
fees.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. So let me help you understand something. With a life insurance policy or a permanent policy, and let me just describe the two. So a term, the word term is short for terminate. You know, the only time you will use a term policy is if you're in your if you're starting off in your 20s and in your 30s. I'll say use it, and then also depending on the type of lifestyle you have and career. So if you're a police officer, firefighter, somebody whose life is at risk, you will get that permanent policy, also known as a whole life policy, and attach a term policy. But never, if an agent come to you trying to sell you a term policy alone, just remember that policy will expire at a certain time, and it does not accrue. It does not accrue money into that policy. But if you get a whole life policy is like having your own banking system. Now you understand what I'm talking about, bank.
Right.
So with the bank, with a life insurance policy, you don't have to worry about the IRS coming after you, because I don't care if you was to get married today and you do not make your person what is it called when you I'm trying to remember terms, when you register someone or when you apply for your policy and you use someone as your beneficiary, that's the word.
Okay.
If your husband isn't your beneficiary, they don't have access to that policy. So however much money is in that policy, no one can touch it. That's how the Rothschild, what's the other family? The Rothschild, the Rockefellers, and all of them.
Okay.
That's how they built their legacy, utilizing policies, and they taught their children how to utilize it. So when you get that policy, you have beneficiaries and you use your children as your beneficiary, you're able to build the wealth up and then teach them how to, once they get that money from that policy, to invest that money into a policy after they're gone, once the wealth is left over from that policy. Now, with that policy that you're going to use as an investment tool, you will put most of your money into that policy to build wealth. So every 2 to 3 years, you're gonna want to see a return on your investment. So that's why you're looking for an accumulation of a percentage. So a bank only offers 1%. You're looking for at least between 8 to 12% return of interest on your policy. So when you buy a policy, you don't want nothing less than 7 or 8%.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying. This is why I say the banking system does the same thing. They get you to open up a bank account, and they charge you interest. Okay? And that interest, what they're doing is that interest is going right back into their policy that they've built their bank off of. So they're making money off you. So when the bank goes bankrupt or closed down, you're out of you're excuse my expressions, but I'm a kind of lighten the word. You're a sheesh out of luck.
Wow.
You know the word I want to say. You know what? So you're sheesh out of luck, and the money they made off of you is already invested in a banking system, because the banking system is the policy.
Wow.
So when you put your name on the policy, that policy, Anita Yarbrough is the name of that life insurance or whole life insurance policy, which is your bank, Anita Yarbrough's bank. And mind you, like I said, you don't have to worry about the IRS coming after you for that money, because that money is protected. They do have a limit on how much you can put in, and that's just basically, they have a limit of $4,999, or basically $5,000. So that way they're able to cover themselves. When you open up a policy, don't put no more than $5,000 in it, because they usually look for people who try to what they do. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. When people try to hide money.
Okay, okay. So that's why it has to be
So
that
yeah, that's why yeah,
$4,999
that's
and
why
not quite the
that's why
5,000.
exactly. That's why it's a limit. But I mean, that's when you starting a policy, because that policy can build all the way up to millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But just as long as when you start the policy, you put in a certain amount.
Okay. Now, question for you. So
Sure.
I know you mentioned neither credit or banking. Now, what is the name of this the policy that you're talking about? So that way we can stem away from those credit and bank unions and make sure we
Okay.
can get started with this.
So no matter what company comes to you, whatever agent comes to you from whatever
Mm-hmm.
company, the best thing to look for, now, like I said, it depends on your lifestyle. If you're the type of person who are used to injuries, who has a rough lifestyle, you want a whole life policy. And that whole life, another name for a whole life policy is a permanent policy.
Okay.
Just basically saying you can use a whole life policy for your whole life. You can borrow from it, but when you borrow from it, put back into it.
Okay.
So that way, that money, because when you pay yourself
Mm-hmm.
back, that money that you borrow from, it allows your interest to double or triple.
Okay. Okay.
So that means it's building off that much of
Right.
the percentage. So it's a whole life, aka permanent policy. They're both the same. So you make sure whatever company is coming after you, say, do you offer whole life policies?
Gotcha.
If they say no, we just have term, then that's not a company you want to deal with, because you want both, if not just one. Because a whole life policy is going to be a little more expensive than a term. Because a term, you be like, well, a term is inexpensive. Why is that? That's because it don't last long, and it doesn't accrue no kind of investment on your return. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So 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 basically, a term policy are for those, they usually advise men to attach a term policy to their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, you have a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year term. There are other policies that last longer, but just know that term policies does not grow an investment in them.
Gotcha.
Okay, once that term policy end, all that money you don't invested in it, you don't get that back. Whole life policy, you do. And
You
there's
will get more.
also
Okay. Wow.
there's it's also a burial investment involved in it. So a lot of people have been taught, oh, a life insurance policy, I don't need no burial insurance.
Right.
That's included in your investment. So that way, if something happens to you, you die, it allows you to name your beneficiaries and who you want the money to go to, someone that is intelligent enough
Mm-hmm.
to organize or handle the money very well. Someone who is going to make sure your funeral arrangements are
Right.
paid for first. Then they get the rest of the
Right.
money.
Right. Wow. So this is like you hear in a lot of songs where it's like, I want to make sure my children's children are good. This is a perfect way
Mm-hmm.
to make sure my children's children are good, even when we are gone. I'm loving
Yes.
all of these, like everything that you're dropping right now is like, wow, things that I did not know, but it's so much of a benefit because again, and you know how it is in the Black community, we think about life insurance, it's just strictly for funerals, burials, and just catering towards that, but it's so many other benefits. I just heard you mention you can borrow from it, like use it as an investment. You can borrow from it, put the money back. So man, I gotta check
Yes.
into my life insurance policy. I gotta make sure. I gotta look and see which one I got. Like if I don't got the right one,
And,
I gotta make some changes.
and, And just be aware that when you do open up a whole life policy, you're opening it up on your own, not through a job, people.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance that they offer you through your jobs are called term policy. So when you quit, when you retire, when you're fired, those that policy does not follow you, because as soon as you quit, retire, or fire, that term, it terminates right
Wow,
there
that's
at
it.
the ending of your job. So it does not follow you. Also, to be aware that Make sure you have, for any of your assets, make sure you have protection on any assets, any other investments like gold, silver, copper. Make sure you have protection up for that. For those items, and
Okay.
land, home. Yeah, make sure you also invest in making sure that those investments are protected as well. Anything that you have an investment, make sure you you have some type of protection that you use, and you can speak with a financial lawyer who can kind of guide you more into that
But
area.
those are great pointers. Because I honestly, a personal question I was going to ask is, how do I make sure my real estate is good with the insurance? Like, just making sure for sure. So I'm going to take all of this. I'm jotting down my notes because this is very, very informative information. So we do have some questions. So we'll take a
Okay.
second for that. So someone wants to know, why does the credit unions surcharge you for purchases?
Well, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I've never worked with a credit union, so I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So
Like I said, when you are a banker, bankers, people who own banks, they know the rules and laws. So when you overstand how they develop their banks off of a policy, a whole life, also known as a permanent policy, they're surcharging you, could be the reason of adding more to their policy. So when their company is no longer in operation, that they can file for bankruptcy, meaning whoever they owe, they don't have to pay back. That's the rule of filing for bankruptcy. But
wow.
yet they may have this policy here with everybody's money that they have accrued from their investing in their bank. Okay?
Man, she's speaking to us, okay? You're speaking. I'm loving all of this. This is great information. So we got another question. And for everyone that's joining, y'all can go ahead and drop some questions in the chat as well. The next question is, what's your opinion on Primerica? I hope I pronounced that right.
Primerica. Well, actually, I was recruited by them long time ago, and for some reason, something in my soul told me never to become a part of them. And then once I really got licensed in insurance and got educated and fully educated, and had a couple of years or more in that career field, I understood why. So when Primerica came at me again and they tried to tell me something better about the term insurance, and I decided, let me just go ahead and see what they're talking about. Let me go to their little webinar that they were having, and I just come to realize I don't want to sell term by itself, because I'm the type of person, I'm here to help the people. I love my people. I want to be honest when it comes to doing business. America is known for being shysty. That's why a lot of countries are
Down
them now, because they're kind of shady, huh?
That's a lot of reason why those other countries don't deal with the U.S. We got a bad rep. It's terrible.
Exactly. So the people who are here in America doing business with each other in order to reap the benefits of other people, you got to come honest.
Yes.
So Primerica, to me, I didn't say they were dishonest. It's just that they don't even offer enough in their package. I don't want to shop with Primerica and then go somewhere else and have to look for a whole life policy.
Yeah.
I want to be able to find everything I need, a one-stop shop.
Yes. Without getting had or bits and pieces here, and you got to shop around.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really good. So I'm notes again. Write my notes down again. I want a one-stop shop for sure.
And let me also include this too. Even for your children, when you have children, wait about 14 days after you have a child. If that child isn't healthy, let's say if that child is born with a heart problem, or if you have a heart problem, it's going to be hard for you to get insurance. So if you have a child born with something serious, that's something that life insurance companies take in consideration, your medical background. So for those who didn't know, they do look at that. They look at your medical background because they don't want to invest in someone who's going to die tomorrow and then they're going to have to come up with the money for that person. So they're looking for healthy individuals. So when you have your baby, 14 days after you have your baby, get that baby a policy, because that money that's being accrued on that policy, think about that child. I don't know if colleges are going to be able to exist here or later on in life, but just in case, if you want to invest in their college education, start at birth. Is it 14 days after? Get them a policy so they can start. And it's cheaper. The younger you are, the cheaper a whole life. Yeah, the cheaper the whole life policy is. And as I was trying to say before, a whole life policy is a little more expensive than a term because of the investment and how you can utilize it. So there's more detail to it. I'm not going to give you more information. It's best to seek out a great agent that is willing to sit you down and educate you.
No, that's definitely good. I definitely agree with that. Just finding a good agent that's just not really in it for the money, just trying to quickly sell you a policy, and just brush off, give you quick answers. You can always wean out good agents from bad agents. So we got another question here. Okay, y'all. Yes, I love this question too. So what's the ideal monthly payment for all life policies, or a good company to get one from?
Okay. So it's best to get quotes from every company, so that way you can compare, because based on your age, as I stated, the younger you are, the cheaper your monthly payments will be. So it's based on your age and your medical background. Some people will let you slide. Let's say you was born with a heart murmur, but you're 30 years old and you haven't had any heart problems. They may allow you to slide, but your monthly payments may be a little more. And if you're a smoker, your monthly payment will cause your monthly payments to go up as well. So just shop around and compare quotes with different companies, because I haven't been in the field. I haven't been in the insurance field since I think my last was last year in May. Was when I called it quits.
Okay. I was going to ask too. So crazy that you mentioned smoke for people that are smokers, because I know when I was shopping around for life insurances, I was just looking at some of the questions that they do ask you, and smoking was definitely one. I seen different policies for like people that had strokes, and I forget the other major health complications that you can have.
And even mental illness, depending on the illness. How serious the mental illness can be. Any kind of surgery, depending on the seriousness of the surgeries and if they're recent. Because anything that has happened recent, you're going to have to wait 5. It depends on the company. Some companies say 3 years, some say 5, some say 10. So just keep in mind. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. We got some people joining in. They saying hello, happy Saturday to us. Hey, Ronnie girl.
Hi.
Hey, T. Hey, sis. Yes, come on, y'all. It's some jewels being dropped for the people that just came in. Man, it's a lot. Very informative. We can all use this information about life insurance policies. We get in, it's not just the little bits of information we get for commercials, right? You digging in there, Anita. You giving us all the specifics of it, so I appreciate that. And you also mentioned you want to know everything about it. You don't want to be limited with the information. So that's another thing.
Correct.
You're not limited at all. You're sharing a lot of good information with us.
Yeah, and educate yourself on the company. Always educate yourself on the company. Make sure it's a long-standing company. Don't get some company that just came out 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, because I had to learn it the hard way as an agent, going with a company that just started 5 years ago, charging me for leads just to get customers. So I was like, how long this company been in business? I was like, I know you lying.
Right. In it for the money. Yeah, charging you crazy amounts
Yeah,
for it.
exactly. Now, also too, let me help you understand something too. 401ks, IRAs, some of 401ks. I'm gonna tell you something about this because a lot of people be like, "Well, I got a 401k. That's a good enough investment for me. I don't need a life insurance." Let me tell you something. By the time you retire, the government takes half or a third of that money. Okay. That's why you find a lot of people, because I know you probably like, damn, why this old person up in here still trying to work a job? That's because wherever they retired from, they didn't have enough to live off of for retirement. So that's why I say, even your retirement plan, whatever retirement, it's okay, go ahead and get the retirement plan, because it is like a waste of money. But you can utilize that money and put it back into your policy and keep building off what you already have in your policy. And at a certain age, depending on the company, they will allow you to utilize whatever you have accrued in your policy to be utilized as a retirement plan as well.
Now, I do got a question, because I felt like 401ks is just like, I feel like I'm getting robbed a little bit. So what do you say about the okay, so your job, right, matching the percentages? How do you feel about that?
Let me explain 401ks. The creator of the 401k, I think his last name was Henson, Ben Henson, Ted Henson, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong for those who are familiar. He was the creator of the 401k, and you had a lot of companies who came to him to help them to design something that would benefit the employer. So basically the employer, the way the 401k is designed is more like a gift giving, because you know, when you file taxes and you give money away, you can utilize that on your what? Tax return.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people when they apply for jobs, they're being tricked into applying for the 401k. Now, like I said, you can do it, but just know that there's a lot of stipulation when it comes to those 401ks and pension plans and all of this kind of stuff here. Okay, because basically what they're doing is, whoever owns the company, whoever employs the people that work at the company, they're benefiting more from it than you are, because when tax return come, all that money they put out, the government is taking. Guess what? The government is giving it to the employer,
and they're benefiting. And that's how I've been feeling. Like these companies that we work for are benefiting, but they're making it seem like, okay, so if I match this amount, however much you pay into your 401k, you know,
they're gonna get it back.
Giving you a piece of
They're
cake
gonna
so you
get
can
it
feel better.
back.
Yeah, that's
exactly. They're gonna get it back, because every year they file their taxes, they're getting that money back. So by the time you're ready to retire, the reason why they take a half or a third, because that money is going back to the person who, it's just a fancy way, of an employer filing taxes, utilizing their employees as a way to get more on their return. So their return on their investment.
Gotcha.
They're not really invested in you. For real. They tell you all this stuff that you can benefit, the benefits of this, the benefits of that. They benefiting for you so they can benefit.
Today, all for themselves is what it sounds like to me.
Exactly.
Not really for the employees, excuse me.
Exactly. So and then also with IRAs, you know, do your research, because there's certain IRAs, and I forgive me if I don't remember them all off the top of my head, because I have not been in the insurance, because you know, hey, I know it's like like Anita, you've only been out for half a year doing insurance. I was like, yeah, but I haven't had to teach all of that. Sometimes you have to stay on top of being able to teach this information in order to regurgitate. So yeah, research your IRAs, because not all IRAs are good either. And even for the military, for people in the military who talking about the retirement plan is good. Your retirement plan is just like any civilian's retirement plan. It's just like a 401k. So don't get it twisted. Just because you in the military and y'all look at us as civilians.
Yeah.
Working in the military is working a job. So remember that you're working a job. So get you a whole life policy as well. So don't, you think you covered when you leave the military, those benefits carry on for a certain amount of time, and then they become once it's like when you leave a job, right? They give you options to they give you other options so you can still have insurance, but it's so expensive. You're so used to them taking $5 out of your check, but when you leave or you quit, they give you another plan, or they fire you, they give you a plan. It goes from $5 to $300 and some dollars. Wow. You're having to pay.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy.
Trust, I know, because it has happened to me. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was in my 20s at the time. I was lost in Wonderland. At least I thought it was a Wonderland.
Right. And you found out. So one of the questions, I'm familiar with some of the Roth IRAs, right? So E-Trade, I'm not sure. Is that one of the names that you're familiar with? The companies?
Yes, I know. E-Trade is just electronic trade. That's like a Forex trading.
Okay. But they have Roth IRAs.
Same difference.
Okay. Would you recommend E-Trade?
Again, because I never delved deep into it. Anything, do your research. Find someone who has more experience in the area. When I say experience, who has actually went through it, not someone who read the book about it, but someone who has went through it and then can give you the ins and outs.
Gotcha. We do have some more questions.
Sure.
The other question is pertaining to that life insurance. So they want to know, do you have to do like a health checkup for some of those policies?
It depends on how you answer the health questions. If you tell them, now, and keep this in mind too, don't think about lying on the health thing, because once you fill out an application, you're giving them access to your medical records. So guess what? You're going to mess around and find out.
Right.
Because and when you mess around and find out, they can get you banned from being able to apply for to any other insurance company, because they can put that into your history records, where they can go back and check your backgrounds and show that you fraud information.
Wow. And then block you from all of the companies.
Keep that in mind. Yes. They life insurance companies is like your Equifax. They gonna check everything to make sure you qualify. So that's number one. When you get into life insurance, you have to qualify. So you make sure all your I's are dotted, T's are crossed.
Got you. We got another question too.
Sure.
Okay, Miss Ronnie, I didn't know that you were licensed with life and health insurance. So she said, I'm licensed with life and health insurance, and I have no clue what to do with these contracts I have. Please help.
What contracts? Talk about clients?
Miss Ronnie, if you're still here, if you can answer that for us.
Do you mean you don't have no idea what to do as a licensed agent, or you don't know what to do with the clients that you have with the company you're working with? Because the company is supposed to train you on how they want you to deliver and give presentations to the client.
Got you. So
you have to be careful. Okay, you have to give Mutual of Omaha. Okay, so you work with Mutual of Omaha, so they are supposed to educate you. Now, if they're not educating you on how they want you to present their product, then you might want to go with another company. Do more research on the company. First of all, if you go into a company and they're not willing to train you and they're just putting you out there, I leave right away.
Gotcha.
Unless you have been already trained, like in college. Some colleges you go into, or a lot of colleges you go into, and you go into a professor room and he ain't teaching you nothing. He just give you information and you got to figure it out yourself. So maybe that's one of those companies you got to figure it out.
Gotcha.
Just ask somebody for information, some training information that you can utilize, so that way you can better understand what the company is offering. Go to their website, educate yourself that way, so that you know what you're selling, and then educate yourself even more. Like myself, I tell you what I did. I went from company to company, and I found one company that I didn't like to sell for, but I like the education that they offer. And the education that they offer is the information that I'm spitting to you today. And
Gotcha.
then I went back to the company that was giving me free leads. Free leads, for those who don't know what a lead is just clients to sell to. So
Okay, so she just said I don't have no clients. So what would you recommend for that? For her to get some clients with Mutual Omaha with very minimal
uh, so
training.
so So I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I worked with the company, and basically that company is basically telling you to do cold calling. Cold calling is you gotta try to go through families and get some of the friends of the family. Then once you get the friends' information, try to sell to them. Then you try to get the friends, and their family, and so on and so forth. That's cold calling. Now you can find that there are companies out there, and I'm going to give one, because this is a company I used to work for. Maybe the actual agency I worked with, I wasn't too pleased with, but the company I kind of enjoyed was a union company, because they were for sure to get leads in, and it's called American Income Life. That's a good insurance company, and any other company that offers free leads. So as a beginner, if you're just starting off as an insurance agent, that's the best company to start with. You may not like everything about the company. It's not even the company. Let me take that back. It's not the company. It's usually the people. So if you can get past people, places, and things,
Mm,
then you all right.
gotcha. That was real good. I might even add this. I might become a life insurance and health
Well,
insurance, listen, agent. Don't be surprised if y'all see me bust out.
but I'm not all about insurance and financial education. I'm also about holistic healing, life coaching, and
Right.
counseling too. So with that counseling does come some financial advice, that which I can offer.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So that was real good information. Our next, we got some more this or that questions. And if y'all
Okay.
have any more questions, y'all can definitely drop them in the chat and we'll answer them as we go along. So our next one is restaurants. Waffle House or IHOP?
Heck no. My kitchen.
You said either one.
My kitchen. Put that up there. Your
Okay.
kitchen. Yeah.
Have you tried either one?
Yes. That's why I said my kitchen.
Okay. You wouldn't do either one.
I got to be hungry to death before I try
All
that.
right. So in that
That's the
instance,
only
which one are
thing
you
that.
choosing?
Say that
I
again.
said in that instance, you hungry, it's nothing else to eat. Like, oh, I gotta pick one. Which one would you choose?
If they was giving away free food and they were the last thing on earth to
Mm-hmm.
eat from, it would be either one of those. But otherwise, while I still have access to my own kitchen, or to a kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
then it will be my kitchen.
Wow. Gotcha.
Because you can't trust everybody to cook your food, because in the world that we're living in today,
Mhm.
and then the stuff that they're doing to food, you at least when you're in the kitchen cooking, you know what you're putting in it.
Right, right. You know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
So Ronnie said, yeah, I'm running from the industry because it's like I'm figuring it out. But thank you so much for that input.
No problem. You're very welcome.
Alrighty. So our next this or that question is traveling. So would you rather, or if you have been to either one, Would you rather go to Jamaica or a cruise to the Bahamas?
Travel to Jamaica.
Okay.
I see. I
You
chose
did.
one.
You did. I see. And I'm with you on that. I'm traveling to Jamaica as well. I went last year for my birthday. And
Well, congrats,
thank you,
girl.
girl. Let me tell you, I think I'm Jamaican and I'm going back again, okay? I had a time. I had so much fun. Jamaica is such a vibe. It really is. I enjoyed it. I do want to go. I want to go on a cruise too, and also visit the Bahamas. So hopefully, in the future, I will be going this year. Speaking into
Well,
existence.
I have been to the Bahamas, or a watered down portion of it.
Okay, what part? What part?
The watered down version of it, because you know that the Florida Keys, those were the Bahamas Islands.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So that's
Yeah.
the watered down
So that's
version.
why I say the watered down version
Gotcha,
now.
gotcha. Alrighty. So our last this or that question is spirituality or religious.
Spirituality. And I chose that, so you don't even have to ask me, because that's, oh yes, that's,
I felt like that's what you were going to
so
say. That was going to be your answer. Yeah.
yes, spirituality. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Whether you are, and don't get it twisted. Just don't say I'm spiritual, because you could be evil spiritual. You could be good
Yes.
spiritual. Because there's some evil spirits out there that's floating around trying to take possessions of humans when they're intoxicated. So beware and take care.
Yeah. Somebody said ears open for this one. They definitely want you to elaborate on it. And I'm going to answer them with you. I am not a religious person at all, so I'm definitely choosing spirituality for sure. And y'all can also answer them with us as well in the comments. Would y'all choose spirituality or religious?
And reason why I say that, because religion is man-made. A lot of people don't think so, because it's a practice. Religion is a practice. Spirituality is who you are. You are a spirit being before you even came into this human vessel. This human experience is just that, an experience to get all the experience that you can to accumulate before you get to that next level once you graduate. And when I say graduate, I mean leave this vessel to go on to other levels of learning in your spiritual life.
Gotcha. That was heavy, but so, ooh, because you just speaking to me with that. Definitely. And
Girl, I don't
this
want it to be.
is no not or no shade to anyone that is religious. This is just, people sharing
No,
their perspective on things.
and let me clarify that. Okay, again, keep in mind that everything I speak on will come from a holistic and or metaphysics point of view. Metaphysics is just spiritual, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But religion, when you come into this human experience and you encounter, no matter what you encounter, is a part of your growth. So I was once religious. I started off as Christian, then Muslim, and then studied
Right.
other religions to just to get a view. And what I come across is that they're all similar with different perspective, and
Yes.
they all have information needed for that for your spiritual
Right.
journey. So do not dismiss
Mm-hmm.
it. At least, even if you're an atheist, come to understand it, because if we're all here to live as one in peace and love, it's an opportunity. It's a joy to be able to accept the difference in every
Yeah.
being, because Earth is a school. Earth is a school, and you have different levels of learning, and religion is one of them.
Mm-hmm. And like someone said in the comments, well, like you said, spirituality is a journey of itself, of self, excuse me. Yes, it's a lot of spiritualities in it. Yes, yo. Yes. I definitely feel you on that for sure. And I feel like in the Black community, a lot of us were raised and brought up as being religious. At a young age, this is most households, most African American households. But then you grow and you learn, and um, you experience life along the way. And I know for me, that's how it was for me, and that's why I'm spiritual for sure, not religious. Yeah, those are really good. And I know I saved that question for last because, you know. I was like, ooh, I think I know. I don't even know you, but I know which one she gonna choose. And just eager to hear your response and your answer on why you chose it. So that was real good.
Well,
I enjoyed it.
because you can relate. You can
Yes.
relate. Another spirit just intuitively. We all intuitive when we use our spirit. So you just basically tuned in intuitively,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize you already know.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Someone said, versus religion is a study of the world. Yes, I agree with you. 12 on the clock. Okay, Miss Ronnie. Feast, my girl. Yes. Oh, oh, oh. Wait, I'm going to save it for last because I got an announcement on my girl behalf. All right, so that wraps up our this or that question. So, well, you know what? I had a chart pulled up, and I just wanted to know what was your input on it. And it is based off of religion and spirituality. So
Okay.
it's just pretty much comparing. So I just want to read a few just to see and get your input and perspective on it.
Okay.
So the first one says religion is believing in someone else's experience, and then spirituality is having your own experience.
Ashe.
Mm,
Amen.
yes,
Allahu Akbar.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes, I agree.
Me
I agree with that. I
too.
agree because it basically is when you read the Bible, you're reading experiences of other and their philosophies and inspiration and motivation. And there ain't nothing wrong with going to the Bible looking for some inspiration and
Right.
motivation. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with it looking back into somebody's past so you can understand the past so you can correct your now.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that at all. And I feel like that's just you tapping into yourself and just evolving as a person, right? As a human being. There's nothing wrong with
Exactly.
that at all. And just growing. I don't
I
wanna be the
agree.
same person I was last year. I wanna evolve and be someone else. Just reach the highest level of myself, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I agree. I
Yes.
agree. Always.
Yes. So the next one on that chart it says, oh, okay. So religion is worshiping God. Spirituality is becoming one with God.
Girl, hey, so far is right.
Yes.
No comment.
Same for me. All right. So the last one is religion is based on fear. Spirituality is based on freedom.
Hey. So whoever wrote that got it. Correct. They got
They gonna put
100%.
right. Check off everything, huh?
Yes.
Uh-oh, somebody said, Anita, you know I'm itching. I think that's your follower.
Oh,
Segment Blue. I hope I'm pronouncing your ad name
okay.
right.
Girl, what you itching for? A
Yes,
scratch?
please go into the chat and let us know why you itching over there. All right, so I know, and again, if y'all got more questions, just make sure y'all put them in the chat for us, and we'll answer them as we go along. So we did touch bases on quite a few things, but I do want to know what motivated you to become a counselor and a life coach. Um, on your, I wouldn't even say, well, I guess you can say on your journey. So what motivated you?
Well, I feel like my situations and life experiences have been preparing me to teach and help people. I've always been in an environment where I actually witnessed, observed family members, friends,
Mm-hmm.
helping others. It was as recent as probably when I was working at Emory University, at the medical
Okay.
university. And I think I say about my last 5 years, I joined this employee council because I saw how certain employees at a lower level, like your housekeepers and stuff, weren't being treated fairly.
Mm,
Then getting to know those type of workers in at those type of companies, I came to understand, well, they just probably just miseducated, and they don't understand that they got to read their policies and procedures so they can know how to be an effective employee. So I was always the one asking questions at these meetings, and I got approached by two white women, two different times in the year, asking me to run for president. But it wasn't until the second one inspired me by telling me, you get you get to enroll in classes for free,
Okay.
and you get to share your views with the university president. You get to sit and talk with him. So I was like,
That's a
okay.
no
So
brainer
I
for you.
did.
Mm-hmm.
I ran for president of the employee council, got it, and that was a great year for me. I got to sit with the university president and shared some of my ideas. I got to sit down with other deans and vice presidents of departments to get an understanding of how I can, make my year and theme a success. And by the end of the year, I got a standing ovation from the Board of Trustees, not just from the Board of Trustees, but from everybody, because I thought my speech and my presentation, I was watching these other people get up there and they just spoke so professionally and profoundly. I was like, damn, I don't know what I'm going to do, Most High. What the heck I'm going to do? But I got up there and I spoke from the heart what
Yes.
I was looking to accomplish. This is what I wanted to do from my heart.
Yes.
And I set out to do that. And I tried to, I came a little bit of a threat, because I find that when you're educating people to learn their rights as an employee, it's just like learning your rights as a
Yes.
citizen. Some stuff, some bills they pass, they don't tell you they passing a bill today. They don't want to. They don't have the
Well,
news reporters on CNN
none of
saying,
it.
"Oh, we passed a bill.
Exactly.
Go check it out."
Holding those,
They don't
they're
see any
holding those
emails.
resources. Yeah, they hold a lot of that back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a college student who goes into that professor's classroom and the professor just hands out paperwork and expect you to do the work, just know, get off your lazy behinds and do the work.
Right. Get the
Basically,
work in.
you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? That's what
Yes.
you have to do.
Yes. I love hearing those accomplishments because here I go stuttering over my words. But just hearing you talk, you seem so passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? So even though, you had those other speakers going up there and, they seemed like very, very professional. When you got up there and you said you spoke from the heart, and again, just hearing you talk now is just, you're very passionate about it. So I can see how you became
Yes.
a threat to everyone.
Well, I wasn't trying to be a threat. Of course, you might think that. I'm telling you, no matter where I work, I've always had people, even working at the medical university. I had these medical students who went to college
Mm-hmm.
and medical college, and some doctors who was always coming to me asking me for advice. And I'm sitting behind the receptionist desk as an administrative assistant
Uh-huh.
to the dean,
Uh-huh.
and I even had sometimes with a dean. He's a cardiologist. As if he's still, and I was stuttering with that because I don't know if he's still alive, because I haven't been
It's
back
been some
up
time.
there. But
Got you.
he was a cardiologist, or he is a cardiologist, and I remember him getting sick one time. Asking me, he noticed. He said, "I noticed you don't ever get sick. What do you?" It was very funny because when I told him what I do, he wasn't really in agreement with it. He was like, what do you do to get rid of colds? I said, well, you need to take a colon cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
And before I can get to the other remedies, he just shut me down. He
Can't
was
hear
like, oh,
it.
yeah, he didn't want to hear that. He wanted, but yeah, I've had people throughout my years. They observe you from a distance, and then on a slide try to find ways to get some advice from you. What keeps you? What keeps you ticking? What keeps you? I'm just like any other
Yes.
person. You know,
But you know what it
and,
is? That's
and
some
if I don't,
people, they're watching your journey, right? He came to you asking you those questions because he's seen that you were not getting sick. You didn't always have a cold. And you know, it's crazy
Yes.
also, because I've experienced this too. We're working in healthcare, and you get a lot of students with these degrees, nurse practitioners, PAs, physician assistants, doctors that will come. And one thing that stood out to me is it's your knowledge, right? They're coming to you because of the things that you know
Mm-hmm.
that they don't know. They do not know. So just because someone has a certain title does not mean they know what they're doing. That definitely. I just want to elaborate more on that because I've experienced that myself. So I agree. I agree.
Yes. And I also want to emphasize that that a therapist and a counselor are is different. Um, I want to say, uh, first of all, both counselors and therapists, even though they both help clients that work through their mental health and life challenges,
Uh-huh.
the key difference between the two are the degree requirements, specific kinds of training, and licenses and certifications. Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
we talking to
Yeah.
Anita now. So don't compare me. I don't like to be compared because I can't be compared. Miss
Period.
Mariah, you can't be compared. We all cannot be
Okay.
compared, but I stay away from medical related issues,
Gotcha.
stuff that require medication, surgery, or anything medicinal that includes prescribing.
Okay.
And, and the reason why I say that is because I want you to pay attention to
Yes.
holistic
Yes.
healing,
It's a difference.
natural healing.
That's right. A complete
Yes,
difference. A complete difference than a doctor prescribing you medication.
exactly,
So
exactly.
definitely natural. Yes, yes. So Dr. Sebi, I'm trying to think of who else. Oh goodness, but a lot of I know my brother was really into Dr. Sebi and just with colds and things like that. So he would like send me videos and like, listen, watch this. You know, like the natural way. He's definitely all for that. I'm trying to. Is
As,
there
as,
any
as,
others that you can recommend?
hey, oh, what's his name? Yaki Awakening, the guy that went viral
Oh,
on,
he.
what's that
Okay.
thing? TikTok,
Oh,
Instagram,
okay.
and there's another Yaki. There's another Yaki who helped heal his mom. If you saw a picture of his mom
Mm.
and a before picture of her and a now picture
Mm-hmm.
of her, you'd be like, dude, you did that to your mom, and you see a before and after picture of
Wow.
himself. Oh yeah, this guy, nobody in the U.S. would accept his product. It was a product that could heal the body. He went all the way to Dubai, and Dubai wanted they wanted all. They wanted it all, and that's how that brother. I forgot his name. He's on Instagram.
Yeah, you
His
have
name
to
is
send me
also
his
Yaki.
information because I wanna look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just remind me because I can't remember his information off the top of my
Oh,
head.
don't worry, I will. Hey, Anita. Yes, and so you spoke. This leads me right into my next question. So you spoke a little bit about mental health and counselors and therapists.
Okay, so so I think yeah, so I basically explained to you the difference. So as far as the two, and for the most part, I deal mostly
Okay.
holistically, and I don't give diagnosis. Mm-mm.
Right.
I also want you to understand, I as when you become my client, I'm not here to heal you. I'm here to help you tap into your own self-healing abilities because we all have it. Because think about it. If you go back to ancient times and you can connect with your ancient ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have doctors. And even today, when you go to a doctor, they don't know nothing about you. That's why they ask you
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Yep.
Okay? So it's best that's why they ask you to answer truthfully so they can get to and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Notice they have to
Right.
figure it out. Basically, you already know what's wrong with you because you know what you put in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you know what you put in your body, go back and read the ingredients of everything that you created, that you put into your body. And then you can find that in some of those ingredients that you use to make your food may have some dangerous chemicals or some life-threatening stuff in that.
Yeah, that's contributing to it, to
You
the
know,
health issues.
that if eaten,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that if eaten over a period of time is going to cause all kinds of symptoms and reactions to the body.
Right, right. Y'all hear that? So make sure y'all pay attention to the foods that y'all eating and the drinks that y'all drinking, the things that you're putting in your bodies. Yes. So another question about that. So I want to know your thoughts on mental health. You know what I'll say? I'll take that back. So therapy in the Black community. Is I feel
Okay.
like in the
Or
African
or
American
mental
community,
health.
I feel like
Okay.
therapy is not really a thing. A lot of people kind of shy away from it.
And so they should.
So okay.
but but no, for real, seriously, it's more like just because. Let me say this, okay?
Hmm.
I understand why you should shy away. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get
Hmm.
it, but to overcome shyness is to be confident in the questions that you ask your therapist to get to know them and understand how long they. So some of us has gotten so used to just, oh well, go to this therapist, and you go and then you feel like you just got played by the therapist, like they can't even relate to me. So let me just touch on that, because not everybody, like doctors and nurses, not all of them are going into it because they're passionate about it. Some of them change careers for
Hmm.
money. So you have to be very careful with whom you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about mental health and uh, the neuromelanin of the Black community,
Yes.
and I'm straying away from the word African because I am not from
Okay.
Africa. I wasn't born there. I don't even think I have any ancestors there. All the ancestors I've known, they're born and raised here, and their ancestors are from here. So only people who are called African Americans are those who migrated from there and became American citizens. So let me make that clear. Now, for the most part, a lot of Black people, for lack of a better word, I'm going to use the word Black, a lot of Black people, based on their experiences as Black people here in America who were born and raised here, have come across racism. Even those who have come here from other countries that are Black
Mm-hmm.
and have lived here for a number of years may have run into racism. Now, and any facets of life, racism don't just have to be about your skin color, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But because we're talking about the Black community, some of the things, some of the mental health diagnoses, including but not limited to, are depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder.
Schizophrenic. Yeah. It's quite a few main ones.
Yes, it's quite a few
Mm-hmm.
out there. So I'm going to give you my opinion, okay, on based on my situations and my experiences. So I'm just going to give you a scenario based on my true life experience dealing with my daughter. I have five, but one of them came in contact with someone who laced
Mm-hmm.
her weed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look down on weed smoking. I sure don't.
No, not at
And
all.
I'm not saying I do
Okay.
it now.
Right.
I may not do it now, but hey, and I'm not going to call myself guilty. I'm just going to say, at some time in our lives, we experiment so we can learn things. Okay. So she trusted someone close to her to roll her weed. That's why you don't let anybody roll your weed and you can't see what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Just like you don't let nobody pour your drink and you can't see them pour your drink. So this what happened to her, which led to her mental illness. Now, I've never had to deal with mental illness. Now we know everybody got crazy in them, but that's not a mental
No, it's not.
illness. You know what I'm saying? So that's the close I've came to mental. You
Okay.
know, you make a person mad enough, they go crazy. But someone, when you lay something, if it doesn't take their life, it does something to them forever, whether it's mentally or
Yeah.
emotional.
Or
So she
both.
went
Yeah.
through that, and
Hmm.
I've had to witness and endure, and still trying to endure and understand
Yeah. Yeah.
her mental illness.
Right.
For the most part, I do not feel like anyone with mental illness, now this is my opinion, should be medicated, because a lot of mental medication, to me, from my opinion, I feel like there's a lot of chemicals involved, where a lot of people, if you don't know your body and you don't understand what's going on in your body, they always give you warnings. Even taking herbs, you're given warning not to take too much or too little
Hmm.
to make sure it works.
Hmm.
But medication, to medicate a person dealing with PTSD, to medicate a person dealing with depression, to medicate. So this is why sometimes, a lot of people dealing with mental illness will turn to hard drugs, because of the regular medications given to them. They tell you it makes them feel worse than the
The actual
the other drugs, and the other
drug.
drug,
The actual drug.
the
One, for
actual drugs,
instance, is
being like,
methadone.
yeah, like,
Yeah. You hear a lot of people.
or cocaine.
Right. And then the methadone. I hear a lot of. I have some close family members that were dealing with drug issues, right? So if they're using heroin, right, and then they go to the doctors and they're trying to get off of it, they'll give them methadone, but they'll be on that for years, right? They'll be on it for years, and they'll be so addicted to it. And so when it's time for
Yeah.
them to try to get off of it, they have to wean themselves off of it, but then they become so addicted to the prescribed. I call it prescribed heroin because that's all it is.
Yes, yes. So also too, a lot of people who are dealing with mental illness, because they feel so misunderstood by the family. Some of them will result to living off the grid, or what some people call homeless.
Hmm.
So let's kind of like clear that portion up, because you got to look at things
Hmm.
differently now. Because there's a lot of homeless people who are becoming homeless based on their income or
Yeah.
their loss of
Hmm.
work. But mental patients become so people who are losing jobs and income, it's not done by choice. A lot of mental patients or people dealing with mental health will become homeless or live off the grid by choice. So just to say this, I don't too much like to open up like this, but I'm going to do it just to be able to relate to those who may be dealing with a situation like this. You might have a family member and you can't understand why they're homeless. So yes, I've had to endure. I'm having to endure that. But at some point, you got to also realize they know what they're going through.
Hmm.
They understand the choices that they're making. And also, too, especially if they're 18 and up, they're an adult.
Hmm.
And you have to allow them to make their own choices
Yes.
sometimes. Just like the fact that, whatever got them in that predicament. Now, someone being racist towards us, doing certain things towards us to give us
Hmm.
PTSD, give us depression. We can't go and get a job just because of how we look. You know what I'm saying? Making it hard for us to live in this
Yes.
society. Some people will turn to depression, and then it goes from depression and it gets worse for some people,
Right.
to the point where they don't know how to cope in this world.
Yeah. So they turn to it.
So,
Yeah.
you should never look down on a person, because you don't know the journey that they've had to
Right.
walk. You don't know what they're going through. You don't. I don't. I sit here today, and I'm not presenting myself, my person, as a millionaire. I got it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I had to go. I've had my own encounters. This is why I'm able to speak from experience, because I've been through situations, not just dealing with my children, but even myself.
Right.
I've dealt with depression.
Yeah.
You know,
Same
I've
for me.
yeah, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
You know, substance. Hold on, let me retract. Before I say substance, people don't realize that coffee is also another form of drug because it can become addictive. Look how many Americans and people who are not even American that's addicted to coffee. And then when people try to stop using coffee, they have a hard time. And I'm gonna tell you something. I spoke to this. I was doing Uber one day, and I told a man about coffee, and he was already in a rehab, and he agreed.
Mm.
Okay, sad enough, I had to mention the white man just to get some people's. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, if you said the white man, yeah, you right, you right. Okay, but anyway, you know how some people be like, was the white man involved? If they said it, then you know it's
Right,
right.
right, right.
Nah, At some point, we got to be able to accept each
Yes.
other because a lot of them, and this is not. If you want to speak race, for the most part, me working in certain predominantly Caucasian work environments,
Uh-huh.
they will hire. They mostly hire black women to work in their
Yeah.
office.
Yeah. I
Think about that. And if not a black woman, a black
right.
man. But it's because they know we know.
Yep.
They know we know. So get that out of your system, that you gotta get credit from the white man. You know what I'm saying? And again, this isn't race. This isn't a racist thing. It's a me thing trying to help you unlock the barriers what's the word I want to say, your essence, your emperorism, to your greatness. I'm trying to unlock the barriers so you can see your own greatness and who you truly
Yes.
are.
Yes.
So now, as the black community, we've been dealing with it since the settlers has come. And notice I didn't use the word since we've been in slavery, because we have not. We were already. Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. America was already inhabited by people. So how can you discover me when I knew me before you knew me? So I had to take it there. But yeah, they've been dealing with it. But I do see that they're beginning to come out of it because they're learning to cope. And a lot of reasons, I feel, my opinion, is because of what we have allowed and what we are allowing. If you allow someone to control you, yeah, you're going to feel suppressed, depressed.
Mm-hmm.
But once you find courage and confidence within yourself, all of that other stuff don't even matter. Someone can call you excuse my German or French or Spanish, because the word negra and nigga is in the book meaning black, and we're not even black for real, for real. So get over thinking using the word nigga, because it's also an energy and pulsating word to use, because it enhances your power. And you was like, how that enhances our power? There is a tribe called the Naga tribe.
Mm.
Isn't that close
Yeah.
to saying nigga,
Yeah. Very
naga?
still very yeah. Very similar.
So some of these words are from our culture. Just understand that a lot of the symbols, signs, languages, and words that's being used in the English, let's just clear up to help you heal yourself. Is the English language is composed of all other languages. It's not a language of its own. So just know that somewhere, if you research the language of the word that you're using, you'll find what language it comes from.
Mm. That's
So
deep
be careful of the
and
word you
heavy.
use.
Yes, it's deep. We getting some life lessons for sure, though. And thank you for being vulnerable enough to share those personal experiences with us. I'm sure
No
it's not an easy thing to do.
problem.
It's not an easy thing to
No.
do, but I do appreciate you coming on this episode and sharing that information with us for sure. So the last question I have is, what can we expect from you in the future?
Well, I ask you not to expect anything of me.
Okay.
And I'm saying it like this is because, when you put someone on a pedestal and having expectations and they don't live up to those expectations, who become disappointed? The person you got on the pedestal, or the persons that place the person on the pedestal?
Okay. Okay. The person. So
So,
you know what? Let me rephrase that. So what can we expect from um, your business, right?
or what,
Being a life coach
or what
and,
are, what
and a
are my
counselor.
plans? Okay, so I'm gradually just building my business through networking, which I hope to gain the trust of clients that will allow me to assist them towards their own self healing. I also look forward to paid speaking engagements to teach and help people enter and understand the importance of fully knowing thyself. Because as I usually say, and I say this in all of my videos that I post on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, I'm
Okay.
not here to make you think like me. I just want you to
Yeah, you gotta have your own mindset. I like
think.
that. I like that. Well, that's really good. Thank you again for tuning in and dropping all of the jewels that you've dropped. I took a lot from this episode to help me with a lot of financial information. Definitely, that was very very helpful with the banks, the credit unions, and what was it? The whole wait a minute, not the
whole
term life
whole
insurance.
whole life
One more time.
whole life of permanent
Yeah,
whole life of permanent policies. And I have a question for you before we leave. Will this session be available later for others to go back who came in
it
late
is. It
to go back
is.
and
So I
review?
was going to, yes, this will also be dropping as an episode on my podcast. So it's going to be available through all streaming platforms. The video will also be available on YouTube. Um, my episodes air every Monday. So I do have a few episodes that I already did. They are already scheduled to come out. So I'm definitely going to be posting when this specific episode will be uploaded to YouTube and also on all of the streaming platforms for sure. So I'll post that. I'll tag you for sure so you can let your listener and your audience know that as well.
Okay, and I also, if for those who have more questions in regards to the finance, counseling, coaching. I am also located on YouTube. You can just probably look me up under my regular name, Anita, Anita space Yarbrough, Yarbrough, or as Anita space DDE space healer on YouTube or TikTok, and of course here on Instagram.
Okay, and I have her at name pen there, y'all. So y'all can definitely make sure y'all follow her. Stay updated. And can they DM you, or do you have like a web page? I mean, a website to go to if they would like to get a consultation.
Well, actually, right now, I do utilize my, because I'm still growing, because I've had some people to help me build my website in the past, and that didn't go well. So right now, I have a Facebook business page, and also my Instagram is my business
Okay.
page, as well as on TikTok. So, and my email, you can also email me. So if you need my email address, it's a new land group LLC at gmail.com, and that's spelled ANULANDGROUP at gmail.com. And
Nice.
that way, also I want people to know I don't take any type of insurance, but I am willing to negotiate and work with you to make any of my counseling sessions affordable for you, because I know the day and time that we are living in, and
Yes.
I'm not looking to be greedy but I am looking to survive.
And be compensated. Okay, we all have to survive at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yes, so that's nice. So thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it.
Oh, and I am so grateful and thankful to you for having me. I want to also say thank you again if he's on here or if he watches this podcast or listen to it
Yes, he
later,
was tuned in.
to Kevin,
Yes,
also known as Kev Easy,
yes.
who introduced me to the beautiful, tall woman
Oh,
herself,
thank
Mariah.
you, girl. Thank you.
Hands up, hands up.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Kev. Kev, yeah. Ooh, I ain't gonna go on and on and on about it, but he know. The man in the scenes and behind the scenes for sure. Definitely. Shout out to him. And thank you to all of the listeners and the viewers that did tune in. All of the questions y'all asked, those were
Yes.
some really good questions as well. Yes.
I appreciate the questions and I appreciate you all for coming in as well.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes. Thank you guys. So if you did, well, you joined in late, don't worry. I'll also be posting when you guys can find the full episodes to tune in and catch the whole thing. You definitely want to go back and listen to the whole thing because she dropped and shared so much great information. So I'll be posting that shortly. Yes, thank you, ladies. You're welcome. You're welcome. All
I'm
right.
sorry I can't really see what's going on in the chat, but thank you all again. I really appreciate your participation and the love and support.
Yes, yes. Yes. All right. Well, that wraps it up. Everybody enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday and have a good day.